Hello everyone, welcome to From the Heart. I'm Joshua.
And I'm Mary.
And we're excited to bring to you all that's new and good when it comes to the arts in Central Florida.
Today we're with David Schillhammer, Executive Director of the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. We look forward to hearing more about his vision of the future for the Orlando Philharmonic and David himself. Welcome, David.
Welcome.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, David, what is next for the Orlando Philharmonic?
Well, as proud of we are about the past, one can't rest on one's laurels. And so we are actively looking to the future because the future comes pretty darn quickly, and you've got to keep your eye on that ball. So just to talk a little bit of where we are artistically, for the last 2 years we've been searching for our new music director. And we had some 300 candidates, which we narrowed down to 5 finalists, each of whom came last year and conducted 1 or 2 programs of the Orlando Philharmonic. We engaged the community in this process, we engaged our volunteers, we obviously engaged the musicians, the board. There were lots of surveys that were going on. And at the end of the day, at the end of the search, we chose an incredible musician by the name of Eric Jacobson, and he will begin as our music director. He's already begun, and we are just so honored and have to pinch ourselves every once in a while. He's a world-class musician himself. He's a very, very famous cellist. He plays in a group called Brooklyn Rider, which is a famous string quartet, but also plays in the Silk Road Project with Yo-Yo Ma, and subs, his first sub for Yo-Yo Ma. So right off the bat, we have a great musician who can work with our string section in particular. But he's a gifted conductor, a gifted musician. He brings music out of the musicians in a unique and creative way. He does it by not controlling them, but rather giving them the freedom to express themselves. So it's not a rigid conducting, follow the beat and give the music within the beat. It's more of setting the stage and setting the tone for the music, and thereby letting the professional musicians make music. And that is one of the greatest gifts that you can ever give an orchestra and a community.
Yeah, and in talking with Eric, one of the things he said was so important to him was collaborations and partnerships. And today, you have said you are a leader of collaboration, and so it sounds like a perfect union and marriage of artistic director and executive director. Well, why are collaborations and partnerships so important to both of you?
It strengthens us. We learn so much about the community. We learn about ourselves and how we work with others. We learn about other organizations. We chose Eric because he merged, he aligned with our core values so perfectly. He believes, and that's why we had these community arts leaders breakfasts where each of the candidates could meet the cultural community. And one of the things that Eric wants to do right away, if it's appropriate, and we can is call a summit of all the artistic leaders in Central Florida and just talk and meet each other and figure out where the future is going. But we know our future is bright under the leadership of Eric, and we have 2 exciting things, 2 exciting items in the future. One is the launching of Phase 2 of the Dr. Phillips Center, a true acoustic hall designed for symphony, opera, and ballet. And right now we're playing very happily and very successfully at the Bob Carr Theater, but we look forward to that Phase 2. In the meantime, we've also purchased the Plaza Live Theater, which is a smaller venue, intimate venue that seats about 900. There's a great rehearsal hall there that we're renovating right now. Our administrative offices will be there, and we'll have a home for live music of certain types of music. And so we've never had a home. We've always been this nomadic kind of orchestra that's very, very expensive. And so to have our own home. And so with both of those items lining up, in collaboration with the maestro, we have a 5-year plan, not just a 1-year plan, but some programming that gets us from here to there, all the way through the 2nd season of the opening of the Dr. Phillips Center, so that you can lead to it and then lead after it. And I think that's one of the great brilliance of Eric is vision. Like, he has a programming vision
Did he come up with the 5-year plan?
Yes. Well, we're working on it together. We don't have it all together, but we're working on it because he hasn't met the entire cultural community. Okay, which collaboration we'll meet them. We'll meet them all. But just to take this year, for example, his guiding principles were, respect for the masters, Beethoven, Mozart, Schubert, Brahms. We're still going to play all of those. Breaking new ground. He believes in new music, commissioning new music. We'll have a world premiere on opening night. Collaboration in the community is highly important to him. And then having a programming thread. In this case, in our first year, Ravel sort of sets the tone for the entire season. We have Ravel throughout the season. Ravel was not only a great composer and arranger, but he loved world influences and wrote about it. And so he was impacted by so much, and then he impacted those who followed him. And so there's all sorts of programming ways that we can string along an audience so that it's one concert is not an isolated incident. You've got to go to the next to hear the rest of the story of Ravel.
I love that he also knows his conductor's core values. I'm just saying, whoa.
I think
And
this
so-
is pretty great.
So
I'm
those
sure you have your own, too.
So those values guide us through the future of our programming. He is pushing the boundaries a little bit more than what we have heretofore, but it's nothing that's scary. It's nothing that people aren't going to love. It's everything that's going to be accessible. It's just going to be just slightly different, which is why we hired him. And I can already tell that our patrons are just, if you could have seen the announcement when we announced Eric and out he came from behind the curtain, there was this explosion of people standing. It was like a rock star had just walked in, which of course he is.
He looks like a rock
He
star.
does
He's
look
very
like a
good
rock
looking, if I
star,
do say
and he's
so myself.
very engaging with people. When he's talking to you, he's talking to you. You know, there's no look around the corner like sometimes I do at a reception. You know, he no matter who you are, he's got your attention.
Well, David, we
And so-
think you're a rock star. You have so much passion, and you're such a great arts advocate. So we're about to leave this conversation, unfortunately. But tell us, why should we support the arts, and why should we support the Philharmonic?
Well, you know, I just had a meeting this morning at the Economic Development Commission, and you know, their slogan there is, "You only know the half of it." And so we went to see them to make sure that we were in on that action. And what we found was a very receptive, Economic Development Commission, because the arts are critical to the health and welfare of the community. And their job is to bring in new businesses and develop and nurture people moving here. And without a vibrant cultural community, people aren't going to come, and so we have that. And it's not just the Dr. Phillips Center, which is a great and magnificent building, but it's the arts that happen within the building that make it great. I just can't imagine a city the size and caliber and scope and future of Orlando not having a healthy and diverse and collaborative cultural community. I think it kind of defines us, if you ask me, but that's from my perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think
Well
we agree
said.
with you. We can't thank you enough for being here. I can't imagine this day having been without you here.
Well, thank you
It's
very much. It's
perfect.
been great to be here.
Absolutely.
So congratulations to the two of you as well.
Thank you,
you.
David.
Well, many thanks to all of you for joining Joshua and I, and a special thanks to David Schillhammer for sharing his art with us.
We hope you will attend a performance of the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra soon. And when you do, tell David that Mary and Joshua say hello.
From the heart.